From winding back roads to weathered front porches, this is Grounded in Granite, a podcast about the people and places rooted in the Granite State. I'm Jason Schreiber. I've called this state home my whole life, and for more than 30 years as a journalist, I've had the privilege of telling the quiet, powerful stories that live in our small towns and everyday lives, from the seacoast to the Great North Woods. And if there's one thing I've learned over the years, it's this. In New Hampshire, every person and every place has a story to tell. Thanks for joining me. Let's get started. Welcome to the first episode of my new podcast, Grounded in Granite. I'm excited to be launching this podcast, and I'm really excited to be sitting in Lauren Cline's kitchen in her beautiful farmhouse here in Bedford, New Hampshire.
A lot of people don't know there are farmhouses in Bedford.
No. Oh, really?
And here we are.
Yeah. It's beautiful. And your kitchen, there's a story behind her kitchen, and there's a reason why we're sitting in her kitchen. Lauren actually is the founder of Slightly Crooked Pies, and she has an amazing pie business that was started here,
right here,
is growing. She has lots of exciting news to share on that, which we will get to shortly. But I wanted to kind of explain why I wanted to have Lauren as my first guest. I met Lauren many years ago. Lauren was
18 years ago.
18 years ago. She was a reporter, a TV reporter for New England Cable News, and I was reporting for the New Hampshire Union Leader. And so we would see each other occasionally in the field at a scene. And so we've known each other for a long time. And I figured if I'm going to start a podcast, Lauren has broadcast journalism experience. So if this episode really tanks, being my first one, she is going to save me
it's all on
and
me.
get me back on track. So that's my hope. And so anyhow, yeah. So I really appreciate you inviting me into your kitchen. And it's exciting.
So flattered that you reached out, and so happy to have you here. And a little secret: before I did television, I was in radio.
That's right.
And I started as a DJ named Trixie. So if anything goes wrong, we will blame it on Trixie.
Trixie. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
No. So let's get into some of your background before we talk about all of your crazy pie baking that's going on here. So you started on radio. Where was that?
I started in radio in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
In 1998.
Okay.
And I was an intern. And I thought, wouldn't it be wild if this turned into a job?
Yeah.
And 4 months later, they hired me to run the board overnight. And when you're listening to radio broadcasts during the overnight hours, it's usually all pre-recorded. Now it's all computerized. But back then, they had to have somebody actually put the CDs in the machines and play the commercials. And so that's what I did for a number of months before they let me what's called crack the mic, which is they let you take a break and talk in between songs. And so I did not suck, apparently. And within a few weeks, they let me take a shift.
Yeah.
And everyone at the station, it was a rock station.
Yeah.
It was an alternative rock station in the late 90s.
Oh my gosh.
It was pinnacle 90s. And everybody had a different name. Yeah. We had a guy named Pike. We had a guy named Silent J, a guy named Reverend Dave. It was in Hartford. And I walked in one day and they said, "We've got your name for you. You are Trixie."
Trixie. Oh my gosh. What did you think of that?
I just said, okay, sounds good.
Because you're just glad to have a job.
I'm just happy to be here.
Right.
Can't believe you're paying me. Thank you.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I was Trixie for about 3 years.
Yeah.
And then 9/11 happened. And I got into news.
Really?
I got into radio news. And I moved out to Boston, and I started working in Providence. And then I got a job in Boston. And yeah.
So were you working in TV in news when 9/11 or
no? I was working as a rock and roll DJ in Northampton, Massachusetts, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was getting ready to go on the air when it happened. And so I was also the music director of that station. So it was a really interesting dynamic where we had to go through our library and pull out all of the songs that were all of a sudden not appropriate to play.
Wow.
And we switched over we read from the Newswire for about an hour and a half. And so we were just reading the updates as they came along. And we eventually just switched over to network news for 4 days. But that sort of was the spark of here's how radio can also be informative and purposeful.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started working on the news side of the business from there.
So then you ended up at New England Cable News for when was that? What
I was
year?
at NECN for 2007
Okay.
through 2013. So the beginning of 2007 to the end of 2013. I had been a producer for a few years, which meant I wrote the stories that were read on air.
Okay.
And a senior reporter took me aside and said, "Why aren't you on television?" And I said, all proud, because I'm a radio girl.
Yeah.
But I put a tape together, and instead of having to go to Burlington or Portland, my boss there gave me a chance.
So what was that time like as a TV journalist? I mean, it's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
Stressful.
Yes.
I mean, I can imagine. I mean, I've only done print, but I mean, you're live on TV, you're dealing, I mean, it's a lot.
That's actually that was the least significant part of it.
Okay.
For me, at least. I remember giving a talk to a group of college girls once, and one of them said, "Well, but what is it like? I mean, you're on TV. What is that like? Isn't that weird?" I said, "No, it's just sort of part of what I do." What was most important to me, like for you, I'm sure, was meeting people and really getting behind the tape line, right? And understanding what was going on behind the scenes and telling a story that was accurate and truthful and respectful. And I think the toughest part about the job was the assumptions people had about you as a reporter when you showed up on the scene, and having to break through that and let people know, I am not trying to exploit you. And sometimes I really don't feel like I should be here. So you tell me what you're comfortable with. And when people opened up, that was really rewarding. When people slammed the door in your face, that was really tough. But I loved storytelling. I still love storytelling. And I loved witnessing history. But after getting married and taking in stepkids and having dogs, when I got up and went to work in the morning, I wanted to know what time I was coming home at night. So I got out.
Right.
Yeah.
So you ended up sort of retiring from TV news and transitioning to public relations, right?
Yep. Corporate public relations. Did some time at Eversource and then at Catholic Medical Center.
Right.
And now I'm at a PR firm called Longtime Strategic Communications.
What was that transition like for you to leave TV news behind and go the PR route?
So I think it still gives me sort of the shakes when there's something big happening and I'm not there. Or there's a great big storm and I'm not going to it. And I've been out for 13 years now. Or 12 years, something along those lines. And so I still get the itch, that never leaves you.
But you're probably glad to not be out in the snowstorm.
I am so
freezing,
happy not to be standing up
with
to my
icicles.
knees. I mean, the collection of hats I had for storm coverage was tremendous. And I'm glad to have holidays back and weekends back. And so I don't regret the decision. I love having done it. If somebody said, "Hey, could you come fill in a shift somewhere?" I'm like, yeah, that would be fun to do for a day. But I don't miss the grind.
No. And it is a grind. And just from my own experience and what I have, I mean, even just print journalism can be a grind, but it's very rewarding. It is very rewarding. It really is. And in many ways.
And to know that, especially in this age of AI and questionable information, to know that you did everything you could to put the truth on record. Right.
Yeah. So then somehow you became this crazy pie lady. So how the heck did that? I mean, I know for years you've always just enjoyed baking pies, and then suddenly, so here in your kitchen,
here in our kitchen,
and so explain how that all happened.
So a long time ago, back in Thanksgiving 2002.
Okay.
I was having my parents and my future mother-in-law over for Thanksgiving dinner, and I decided I'm going to bake a pie for Thanksgiving. I was not someone to be trusted in the kitchen. Nobody believed that I could actually cook and sustain myself.
Had you baked the pie before?
Never.
This is your first? Okay.
My first one.
Okay.
And so I thought, well, I'm going to go on Williams-Sonoma website and look up a recipe because they're fancy.
Yeah.
And so I did. I looked up an apple pie recipe.
Okay.
I did a store-bought crust. It does take a while to master crust. It took a while, but I did store-bought crust and I made the pie, and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
And that was so rewarding and so gratifying
Really?
that I thought, I want to do this again.
Yeah.
So I baked another pie for another holiday, and that sort of became my thing.
Hmm.
And with the advent of social media,
Yeah.
especially around this time of year, I would often share pictures of pies or talk about making pies. And the years are getting fuzzy now. I think it
Yeah.
was maybe 2018. A friend of mine said, "Hey, if you made me a pie, I would buy it from you for Thanksgiving." So I
Hmm.
threw it out there. I said, "Hey, if anybody wants a pie,
I remember when you
I'll
kind
make
of
it
threw
for
it
you."
out there. It was, yeah.
Yeah, and I got
So,
maybe a dozen pies that year.
really?
Yeah, which at the
Oh,
time was like, "Oh my goodness, how am I gonna make a dozen pies?" Now,
wow.
that was so sweet and so innocent because the next year I probably did 30 or 40, and then COVID hit,
Yeah.
and nobody could go anywhere for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So people were really longing to have that tradition in their home.
Yeah.
And so by that point in time, I had come up with a name for my pie company, which is Slightly Crooked Pies.
And how did you come up with the name?
And I came up with a name because here we are in our kitchen. We
Yeah.
moved to this house in 2011. It is the room that we're sitting in was the original structure.
Hmm.
And it was a cobbler shop in the
Oh, okay.
1740s.
Yeah.
And it was this room, and then there's a bedroom above it, and that was it. So this is the original hearth.
Mm-hmm.
Parts of it
Wow.
have been rebricked or remortared.
Yeah.
But the oven, this oven is oversized. It's, I think, 42 inches wide.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about 10 inches. It's a
Yeah, that's
whole
bigger than my
side
oven.
oven, bigger than a normal
Yeah.
oven.
Right.
But when we moved in here, the first pie I baked that fall was a pumpkin pie.
Hmm.
And when I pulled it out, it was lopsided. Because there's
So,
no even floor.
no.
This room is almost 300 years old.
Right.
So there's no even floor in here. And no matter how much you adjust the feet on the stove, it's going to be crooked.
Yeah.
So every pie that comes out is slightly crooked. You might not be able to tell,
Yeah.
but it's slightly crooked.
Yeah.
So I named the company Slightly Crooked Pies.
Yeah.
And so for Thanksgiving 2020, I did over 100 pies.
Wow.
And then the following year, or maybe it was the year after that. It's all blurry now. WMUR had their Viewers' Choice poll for best pies.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, well, that would
Yeah.
be fun." So I threw it out there. I said, "Hey, everybody, it'd be great if you voted for Slightly Crooked Pies." And like a week and a half later, somebody comes to my house to pick up a pie and said, "Oh, hey, congratulations, by the way."
Oh.
And I was like, "Or what?" And I had
So-
come in third.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. And
Well,
that really exploded.
yeah.
I did over 200 pies that year for Thanksgiving.
Well, and the thing with pies, I mean, I make an occasional apple pie, but there's so much work. Like, I just think there's so much work. I mean, all the apple
Yeah.
peeling
Yeah.
and like,
It is a lot of work. And so
I don't know.
discovering tools.
I mean, to do pies on a, well,
at that scale.
yeah,
Yeah.
is way too, like,
It's
I would be out
insane.
of my mind.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am definitely not
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
right mind. Yeah. No, but finding tools and methods, and I'm a problem solver, so I really like taking on that challenge and figuring out how can I be more efficient, and how can I make it better, and how can I make a system so that I can replicate my results without losing quality and character. And it's not always perfect.
Yeah.
You know, I will have years where I have a customer who's really unhappy with their product. So I immediately refund them and say, come back. I'll give you the next one free. Here's your money back, because that quality is really important to me, because I do put my heart into it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's I can't explain it. I don't know why pie is my thing.
Yeah.
I like to eat ice cream more.
Yeah. Well, we're New Englanders.
That's true. That's very true. And it goes well with pie.
Right. It does. It does.
But yeah, I just somehow became the pie lady.
Which is, so what are your most popular pies?
Apple is always most popular.
Okay.
Right behind it is one I do called Sweater Weather.
And
this is where I realized I was going to grow this as a business, was when I just started laying down in bed at night and combinations would come to me. As I was drifting off to sleep, I would just get this, I can do that, and it would be amazing. So Sweater Weather is one of those that is apple and pear, and it has just a tiny little bit of cardamom in it. And cardamom is like an Asian and Indian spice. It's very floral, but also warm. And so the pie is called Sweater Weather because when you bite into it, it feels like you're being hugged, right? Like you're wrapped up in this sweater of a pie. And that one, I braid the top on it to make it look like a cable-knit sweater.
Oh my
That one
gosh,
won
that's
first place in the
really?
2022 Great New Hampshire Pie Festival.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, and that was
Wow.
another fun component. Like,
Wow.
I started winning Viewers' Choice Awards, and then I started putting pies in for competition and winning awards, and it just everything I put out to the universe has come back to me, multifold, and so I'm just continuing to follow that path.
So where have your pies been available in the past? Where have you been selling them? Where?
So I started branching out when the Joppa Hill Educational Farm opened up a farm stand, which is a great thing to have.
And that's
It's here in Bedford,
right?
Joppa Hill Road. The farm is a wonderful place. It's open to the public 365 days a year. They do summer camps. They've got animals, and they've got this farm store. They've got the great gardens, and they sell the produce and the flowers. And they asked me to sell the pies there, and I did, which has been wonderful. And then a friend of mine took over Angela's Pasta and Cheese Shop in Manchester. And by that point, I had started doing hand pies. And so he said, "Hey, let's try selling some." So those have been a hit there.
Okay.
And then the gluten-free bakery opened up on Elm Street in Manchester, Dijon. And I do gluten-free pies, so I sell those there. I did the Hopkinton Fair this year. Loon Chocolate was exhibiting, and so we got to talking, and now they carry them. And then I had taken a class on writing a business plan. I took Amy LaBelle at LaBelle Winery does a class on how to start a business from scratch, how to write a business plan. And so I went through that class and thinking I would open a pie shop. And as I did that, I realized the better way was to try and start wholesaling first to get the name out, really practice doing at scale, and then get to a pie shop someday. And so I took that class and I finished it on May 10th. And on May 17th, I had an Instagram message from a distribution company asking if I wholesale pies.
Wow. And so you were like,
yes, I do. Let's talk. So that started this September. So now I'm also in Hometown Coffee in Manchester, a place called Coffee Berries in Londonderry, and a few other places here and there. And that list is growing.
So you've got a commercial kitchen.
I just started using a commercial space. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in August.
Okay.
I just don't have the storage here.
Yeah.
Or the license allowance. I can only do so much under my license here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how is that going to? I mean, are you going to have to? You're still a one-woman show, right?
I am.
Okay. So what?
Yeah.
So at some point,
I'm going to have to figure that out.
Yeah.
At some point, I'm going to have to figure that out. But there's just so much that can be done, right?
Yeah.
And there are so many places to do it. And so I'm just taking it one step at a time. And of course, someday I would love to have a shop because I just feel that pie is like ice cream. It's a really nostalgic food. And one thing that I've found in talking with people over the years, one, there's a huge overlap between pie people and dog people. Like if you had a Venn diagram, they would almost entirely overlap. But two, so many people love pie because it means something to them more than just having dessert. It ties them to a family tradition. It brings back memories of holidays with their families. Sometimes they have a special recipe that they can't quite figure out because grandma had a special ingredient in it. But there's just so much that pie evokes. And I want to capture that in a setting. I want people to come in to a shop someday and feel that all over again.
Oh, that would be awesome. Because, I mean, are there any pie shops
There is.
around?
There's one in Woodstock, New Hampshire, the Woodstock Pie and Coffee Company. It's a tiny little place. We went there this summer. There's not really a place to sit down. So I want to create that place to sit down so you can, grab, a slice or a mini pie and a cup of coffee and sit with your friend and just be happy.
I love the idea because I do love pie. So I love the idea.
What is your favorite pie?
Well, I would have to say apple.
Yeah.
I do like apple, pumpkin, blueberry. Sometimes you do. Although blueberries.
Lots of blueberry.
You do?
Yeah.
Like what's the craziest pie that you make or have made or maybe tried and it just flopped and you had to throw it out?
Well, so actually I think the craziest pie we've made is my son's been getting into it. And so
He'll be your first employee.
he
Or
absolutely or slave labor
or
or
slave
child labor,
yeah.
right? No, he gets really into it, and so he comes up with these crazy concoctions,
Yeah.
and he started submitting them for competition and winning
Okay.
as well.
Really?
So yeah,
That's
he did
cool.
one last year that is pineapple dragon fruit, and it has a little bit of strawberry extract. He was going for that strawberry dragon fruit refresher taste.
Yeah.
And it has a crumb top on it.
Oh,
And
wow.
so, yeah, that won him first place in the kids category last year.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So he's kinda following in your footsteps a little bit,
Yep.
maybe?
Yep. It was inevitable. So that's good.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can grow the
yeah.
company and then just give it to him.
Yeah,
This year he
wow.
did maple cinnamon bun. So it was
Oh,
a maple custard.
okay.
And then he unrolled canned cinnamon
Mhm,
bun dough
okay.
and put a top on it, made it a thatch top.
Mhm.
And that was super cool.
So if you're again, you're making you're doing this by
Yeah.
yourself, all these pie so when it comes to apples, that's your most popular.
Yes.
How do you handle all the peeling and
So
all of
those
that? Like,
crank machines.
yeah,
Actually, hold on. I've got one.
okay.
Woo! I'm opening the secret cupboard of all the pie trays, but you
Uh,
have a machine like
yes.
this,
Oh, yes.
right? And
Right.
so
Yeah,
this
yeah.
really does work
So,
wonders.
okay.
Yep. Sorry,
No, we're just
probably messed up your audio.
no, that's okay.
But yeah,
So
using tools, right?
yeah, okay.
So I'm dying to
So that
try. I've seen people use they hold a peeler and
Mhm,
they have a diamond tip on a drill and they stick the diamond tip in the apple and just
mhm.
trigger the drill to peel it.
Well, and the thing with apple pies is, like, you create, like, I don't know, mile high or whatever, and then by the time it cooks, it's
It's fallen down,
and it's
right?
like, "Oh my god, I had so many apples in there, why is it so"
So much
and
science, so much science behind it. Yes, I actually have got some stuff coming up on my social media in November about
ah,
attacking apple pie.
okay.
So there are a couple of things, and I still haven't even completely figured it out. But that shrinkage
Yeah.
is a bummer,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah, it
because
is.
apples run a whole gamut from
Yeah.
sweet to tart,
Yeah.
and from soft to firm.
Mm,
And so the goal is to get a firm and sweet apple so that it holds its shape while baking.
okay.
And you don't need a lot of sugar to add to it. So the reason why
Mm.
so many recipes call for Granny Smith apples is because they're very firm. But they're also very, very tart. So you
Yeah,
have
I
to use
don't
a
know
lot
if
of
I
sugar. And I
yeah.
don't want to do that. I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
limit
yeah.
as much sugar as I can in my recipes.
Mm,
So you've got to find a good variety that's both sweet and firm.
mm.
And so Cortlands are really popular for that reason.
Yeah, yeah, that's usually what
Uh,
I would
yeah.
use if I'm
Yep.
making an apple pie, but yeah,
Good. So your
okay.
instincts are right.
So
But even
well, mom
then,
taught me that, my mother taught me that,
she's a
so
wise woman. But even then, you can get Cortlands that are a little
yeah,
overdone
yeah.
and soft, right? So you really have to feel them.
Mhm.
Mutsus are a good one. That's like a yellowish green skin.
Okay.
And then I actually Gould Hill Orchard in Kentucky has its own variety called Kearsarge, and
Hmm,
I got some this fall and used them, and they were gorgeous.
really?
Oh
Okay.
my
Oh,
goodness,
that's
they
good
didn't
to know,
reduce at
alright.
all, but they had a sweet, almost buttery
Mhm,
flavor. Honey crisps work well too.
mhm. Oh, yeah.
So you got to worry about moisture content
Mm,
with all your fruit.
yeah,
So
yeah,
look for sweet, firm
mhm.
apples, and the internet will help you figure out what varieties to look for.
And you have different sizes, so, like, do you have and the
Y-
hand pie?
Yes. So I make hand pies. I make large and small hand pies.
Yeah,
I make little 3-inch tarts. Those are really popular for weddings because
yeah.
you can just pop it out of the pan.
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
single
yeah.
serving.
No, that's yeah.
I do 5-inch minis, and I say they're 2 servings. My husband says they are not.
Oh.
So, and then
might not be 2 for me.
the
Yeah,
9-inch pies.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so another thing that I do when I bake an apple pie to reduce that shrinkage, that reduction, is you chop them differently.
Mhm,
So you chop long, thin pieces, you chop, more squared fat pieces. You want a variety of sizes so that when you put them in the pie, you can really pack it in.
mm,
You can fill all of the gaps
mhm.
in the crust so that there's really nowhere for the apple to fall into.
So when you're, soon well, now you'll have a larger kitchen to
Yes.
work in, but, like, when you're doing mass producing
Yes.
pies here, like,
Here,
how does so is
I
it just
don't sleep.
hours of
I
What do
usually pull an
you?
all-nighter every year.
Oh,
No, but so because this oven is oversized, so we've got the main oven here, and there
and
are
you
some
have
pies
pies
in
in
there
there,
right
right?
now. Yeah,
Oh
we
my.
got some gluten-free pies in there. Oh, look at
Oh,
they
they
show up on the
smell delicious. Yeah.
and then there's this
Yum.
side oven here,
Okay.
which I use if I need to.
So,
So if I foil line the racks, I can fit 8 pies in here at once.
oh, okay. 8 pies. Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty good. And they
Um,
cook properly. I mean, it's even enough.
it's
Or they do
pretty
they get
even.
kind
Yeah,
of
because I use the
okay?
convection setting.
Yeah.
I'll have to rotate them every once in a while, but they cook pretty
Mm,
evenly.
okay.
I mean, knock on wood,
Yeah.
this is no longer made.
Mm.
And so I've got an amazing appliance repair guy. Um,
That's good. You get
so
a
I just
good
have to
repair guy
I
is
think
good.
I have to Frankenstein this
Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
all of the parts that it might ever need so that
Mhm.
they can be replaced and I can
Yeah.
keep this going as long as humanly
Okay.
possible.
So, what is your ultimate goal here? I mean, what do you hope? Where do you, where would you like to see slightly crooked pies in 5 years
So,
from now? I
yes,
mean, all
yes,
over the
because
country.
in 5 years, I'm gonna have an empire.
Okay,
No,
I
I
can't
would
wait.
really love to see if this can be, a regional business.
Mm,
Like I said, I wanna create that shop environment
mm,
just so that,
yeah,
like when you can buy Stonewall Kitchens in the store, or you can go to Stonewall
yeah.
Kitchens and, like, have the experience,
Mm,
and I want to have the same sort of destination.
mm,
But I would really love to have the wholesale be an opportunity that can be brought to everybody in the region.
mm,
And so ideally that would be frozen pies.
mm.
So we prep them, we freeze them, we give the
Okay. Yeah.
instructions, you take them home, you put them in your own oven, and you get that smell, right?
Mm,
That's a huge part of the pie experience is the
mm.
smell.
Oh yeah,
It just permeates the whole
because I'm
house.
smelling these right now, and it's
Yeah,
making me feel really good and
it
happy.
is. It's such just
Happy.
happiness. It's definitely
Yeah,
euphoric.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
Oh my
So I
gosh.
would love to
Yeah.
see, if anyone from Hannaford is listening or Market Baskets, you really are
Right.
great about supporting local
Yeah.
businesses.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm your
Yeah.
gal.
Yeah.
Call me up.
No, I mean it's fantastic, and like I said, I just can't get over the amount of work that pies are, and for you to take on a pie business, is just
Yeah,
really
I'm definitely not right in the head.
incredible.
Yeah. No, no. I
um,
just I don't ever sit. Like it's not in my
well,
nature to
yeah,
sit.
yeah,
So it keeps me
yeah.
occupied.
Well, and plus you're doing this while also you have a professional, you've got a career as well in communications, and so you're trying to. It's a lot to.
But I think it matches up well, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm,
I think everything I've done to this point has helped me get to this point.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes you don't realize, why things happen in your life until you get
Yeah.
to where it all makes sense. And so, it just, but if you had said when I graduated from college,
Yeah. That you.
you're going to own a wholesale pie business,
Right.
I can't
Right.
even boil water. What are you talking
Well, I was going to
about?
say, probably when you were at a murder scene,
Right.
in the past, you probably never thought, oh, I really just want to. Although maybe you did think,
Maybe
I
I did
just want
think,
to
I just
make
want to go make
pies.
pies. I
I
just want to
just,
go home and make pies. Actually, that's probably what I was thinking. Yeah. Yeah.
well, I've always wanted to have a muffin shop or
What
so I've
is
always thought about,
stopping you?
I just can't.
You need a muffin shop in
See,
Littleton.
too much work. I know it's just so much work. So I just
It's a lot of work.
it's just, I really commend you for being able to pull it off because yeah, we all have dreams, we all want to be, an entrepreneur and start with a homegrown business like this. And it's just,
Scary.
yeah,
It is really scary, and I've never been someone to take a chance.
yeah,
I really like the idea of stability and a steady paycheck.
yeah,
So,
yeah, same.
to even think about, well, maybe there's life beyond
Mm-hmm.
a good full-time job,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm grateful for. I'm
Right.
so grateful
Yeah.
for every
Oh, yeah.
opportunity I've had and for the
Mm-hmm.
support I continue to get from my
Yeah.
colleagues and my
Mm-hmm.
employer. But this is just the pull I can't shake.
Mm, yeah.
And you get to a point too, we were talking before we started
Yeah.
recording, we're Gen Xers
Mm-hmm.
and we're getting to that point in our lives where we go, "Oh, this is real life.
Yeah.
We're actually here in adulthood. Oh, I guess we have to figure this out now."
Oh,
And I think we have seen people before us, especially our grandparents who just worked hard and provided
yeah.
and got to a point in life where they said, "Gee, I wish I had done that."
Mm-hmm.
And I don't wanna get to a point where I say, "Well, gee, I wish I had taken that somewhere."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
What's the worst that could happen?
Right. Well,
I mean, right,
there's a few
you
things,
fail
but
miserably and go bankrupt, and, yeah. Yeah. okay.
But
No, but
no, I mean, yeah. So is there any other, any one piece of advice for someone who wants to try to do what you're doing, to try to make something like this happen? I mean, I guess it's just taking a chance and
a
seeing what happens.
and I
I
think
mean,
it's
you got to
saying
be,
yes every time
yeah,
an opportunity is offered,
yeah, yeah.
right? Um, and that is hard.
Hmm.
Right. So the first year, I got in over my head on orders. I
Mm-hmm.
had over 200 pie orders and it was just me and I didn't plan it out far enough in advance, but I said
Mm-hmm.
yes to everything. And at the end of the day, almost everybody got their pie. There were
Yeah,
two people who said, "Don't worry about
yeah,
it."
yeah,
I
yeah.
refunded the money, and I'm grateful for those people.
Yeah.
But you make it work, and
Mm.
the if it's the right thing, those around you will be supporting you and
Yeah.
helping you along the way. My husband believes in this more than I do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which is hard to believe. But
Yeah.
whenever I have doubt, he's like, "Nope, this
Yeah.
is the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing the right thing." So,
Well, that's good to
um,
have a supportive husband.
yes,
That's helpful.
yes, it
Yeah.
is.
So, for more information, what should people,
Yeah,
if they want to learn more about slightly crooked
sure. So
pies?
that's another thing about owning a business is you got to start a website.
Yeah.
So it's slightlycrookedpies.com.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
Yep.
And
Mm.
our story is there,
Yep.
our selections are there, our seasonal menu is there.
Mm.
I say our because it sounds so much more official, but it's really just me and sometimes my kid. He's got tiny fingers
Well,
still, so he makes really pretty flutes around
yeah, yeah.
the edge.
And you're going to be busy then with holiday season, and so this will be your busy time. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Lauren, thank you so much for joining me on my first episode.
I'm so
I'm
excited. Thank
again
you so
really
much.
thrilled that you could, that you would let me come into your kitchen where the magic happens.
I am
So,
so flattered because you are such a
so,
great and passionate
uh,
storyteller.
uh,
And I
uh,
just could not be more excited for you starting this. And I mean, this is what makes New Hampshire and journalism in New Hampshire great,
mhm.
right? Is meeting people and telling their stories because everybody has a story to tell.
They do, and that's kind of in my my tagline. So yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it's true. All right, well, thank you all for joining us, and just a reminder: let's stay grounded in granite. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Grounded in Granite, where we celebrate the people, places, and stories that make New Hampshire home. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure to follow Grounded in Granite on Facebook, X, TikTok, and Instagram for behind-the-scenes clips, photos, and more. You can also subscribe to the Grounded in Granite YouTube channel to catch full video episodes, and don't forget to follow on Spotify so you don't miss the next conversation. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and stay grounded in granite.